We're running along the bare granite rock and we're executing the race of our lifetime. Time constricted but on schedule to make the crucial cutoff times. Then at one of the water crossings, I suddenly hear my cousin screaming. He didn't anticipate how shallow the water was and blood was pouring down his legs. We ain't got more than a couple of minutes to spare to make the cutoff times. Will we make it? This is me, and this is Johannes. We're cousins. And 2 months ago, Johannes asked me if I wanted to do this World Series swim run with him. I looked at the race map and thought, oh shit, this is quite a race. It's a 26-kilometer run and a 7-kilometer swim, divided into 27 swim sections and 28 run ones. Yikes, that will take a while, and I've never swam those kind of distances before. Never the one to turn down a challenge, I accepted and quickly committed myself to get the proper gear and get down to learn the skill of crawling. I went on Facebook Marketplace and bought a used wetsuit, started to go out and do long swim run sessions in all different weather conditions. Right over there. I bought a course from a YouTuber which was really helpful. It teaches me the basics of head position and how to approach the first steps of learning how to crawl. I've grown up near the ocean and every summer our #1 playground is the nearest cliffs by our house. So I've always been very confident in the water. But swimming more than 200-300 meters is something that I'd never done before. I did about 1 to 3 swim workouts a week, and after around 8 hours of swimming, I learned the awesome skill of crawling. During the months leading up to the race, I managed to get in about 25 hours of swimming, and got quite comfortable with open water crawling. The day before the race, I started to get really nervous. I started to count on the cutoff times that they had on the course, and I put it all in a Google Sheets document. Hopefully we'll be able to make the break time though, because they have 2 cutoff times that you have to make, and we need to make this race. We can't DNF this shit. We really can't. So it's now 22:07. And I'm prepping my stuff. I've already tested to run with my GoPro on my head, so this is sturdy as hell. Like, this won't go anywhere when it's like this. Big thing with these swim runs is that you have so many different distances to keep track on. So I got these tips from a guy to write it on their swim paddles. Since I'm not gonna use any swim paddles, I wrote it down on my arm with ink. So the left here is the runs and the right is the swims. So 2.8k, 500 meters, 450 meters, 400 meters swim, 1.7k run, 100 meters swim, 300 and so forth. So we are excited. Yes, we are. Man, that looks nice. Very, very nice. On race day, we took the ferry early morning from Gothenburg out to the island where the race was located. Just an hour before the start, we started to get our gear on. Ready for the race? Psyched?
I was a little bit nervous at first, but now I'm back on track.
Right. Long day. When we looked around, you could clearly tell that everyone was wearing hand paddles and a pull buoy. I've talked with Johannes about this before, since I've seen pictures of the earlier events, but he was as nonchalant with this fact as he were with the cutoff times. Like it didn't matter. And we were off. Finally we got moving, and our long race day had begun.
Ja. Annars hade det varit katastrof.
First quarter of the race we were moving well and everything was moving along as planned. After about a third of the race, my cousin started to materially slow down, and I started to get worried due to the fact that we had very little time for slacking. My energy was sky high and I felt really strong, but my cousin just got slower and slower. I said to my cousin that we gotta keep up in order for us to make it, and we kept moving as best as we could. We were up for a small water section and I jumped in. My cousin came in right after, a bit delirious, and jumped in with his both knees first. Was all that I've heard. He did not pick up the fact that the water was shallow and he smashed both of his knees on the rocky bottom. I looked around and saw Johannes in agony. "Are you okay?" He moaned for a few minutes, but we kept moving. As we continued, blood was pouring down Johannes' legs and he was struggling to move. We moved for 1,000 meters, and just as we were about to hit the big swim section, a medic was at the shore and Johannes asked him if he were able to see to his wound. The guy was very helpful and got out some bandages and told him that he needed to seek assistance as soon as he were able. We continued down the big swim. I was feeling fresh, but Johannes did struggle and I felt really hopeless in the struggle to make the cutoffs. I was sure that we weren't able to make it. Such a shame after all his swim training not to be able to finish the race. After a while we finally made it to the next cutoff station and I was quick to ask, did we make the time? The voluntary looked at me questioning, like he did not know what I meant. I took that as a big positive because that meant we were still able to carry on. I knew that we had another cutoff time up ahead and also that we were behind and essentially were not allowed to pass this, so my mood went straight up. Come on Johannes, let's make this next cutoff, we can still make it. A couple of more runs and swims and we were at the final cutoff. Did we make it? Yeah boys, you can pass. For over 2 hours time I was sure that we weren't going to make it. Now we were sure that we were able to hit the finish line. It felt truly amazing. At the aid station we had a couple of drinks and carried on. A short run and up ahead there was a lot of people in the water. Running, swimming, it was buzzing. Apparently we shared the last piece of the trail with participants of the other 2 distances and we got great admiration from the people we met. At one of the crossings I just came up from a 200-meter swim when I heard, "You're a hero!" I'm like, me? Yes, I can't believe you've been out here for almost 3 times the distance that we're out on. I'm exhausted. I felt proud, laughed out loud, said thanks and carried on. I felt relaxed, engulfed by the feeling that we actually were going to make it. My cousin were getting a bit too relaxed and after 5 hours of pushing I started to freeze a little bit. We were up along the last swim and all the stinging jellyfish that the ocean had amassed to our enjoyment started to take a toll. I was burned all over my arms, my legs, part of my face, but I did not care. I had so much fun out there swimming, running, coming out of the water, jumping into the water. I just had a blast. We were coming up from the last swim and just had a 2-kilometer run until we were at the finish.
Sista bitarna.
Seven hours later, we finally made it, until this day the most fun I've ever had in a race. Such a great organized event. Lots of people cheering on along the track, professional people on boats on all the crossings. It was just a great event. One might ask, why would you even be out there for 7 hours like this? I'll tell you why. It's because you will feel like a superhero when you do it, and it will grant you a reference point of the fact that you can do hard things. It will help you overcome small problems in your day-to-day, and it's just a great feeling to be out moving for a long time. Thanks for watching. Catch you in another one.